The Vera Tommy Show. The Vera Tommy Show. The Vera Tommy Show. The Vera Tommy Show. Let's talk about it. 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 On the Vera Tommy Show. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited today to have my guest, Alejandro J Tornato. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, Vera. First of all, I just want to thank you for extending me an invitation. To be one of your guests in your show. I've been looking at the YouTube previous shows that you had, and I said, "Oh my goodness!" I had to be on this show.
Oh,
This
God.
this is something that it's definitely it's great because you had interviewed a lot of great leaders, great people with fascinating stories, and I hope that I could fit in that mold.
Well,
I'm
I'm
just
sure you will. I'm sure you will. I have no doubt in my mind. And before we start our conversation, let me just tell the audience a little bit about Alejandro J. Tornato. He is the founder and CEO of Tornato Speaking, Leadership, and Coaching LLC. Alejandro J. Tornato has been recognized as one of the 50 most influential heart centered leaders in 2022. And he was featured in the Who's Who of the World's limited edition coffee table book by Unified Brains Group. Alejandro is a powerful and dynamic, sought after, international, inspirational speaker and a transformational leadership coach certified through the Maxwell Leadership Organization.
that's
Alejandro's teachings and communication style immediately connect with individuals and groups from all backgrounds. Alejandro is the co author of two books on leadership: Create Terrific Teams and How Strong is Your Leadership Style. Now, he has several programs and he is one of the leaders of Maranatha 7 International Ministries, where he frequently teaches in Spanish to reach out to Hispanic communities. You can also subscribe to his YouTube channel, the Alejandro J. Tornado Inspires, where you will find inspiring and transformational content. So I am just honored to have you here, and I am going to give you the floor for you to share. What was your childhood like? How did it impact you? And what lessons did you learn from your experience?
wow. That's a loaded question, but let me see. If I can start. My background. I was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and all the way down in South America, and I grew up in a very small family. It was my mother, my stepfather, and me. I did not have any brothers, so I was the only child, and I don't know, but being the only child, it could be a weapon of a double-edged sword, in a sense,
Yes.
because it's good because um, you don't have to fight. You don't have to um, get into arguments or fights. I mean, with siblings. But on the other hand, all your attention and all the focus is directed onto you. The floodlight is upon you. And that could have a positive effect, but it could have a negative effect because you get used to receiving all the attention. And then when you get out into the real world, it doesn't happen that way. And people who have been used to getting all the attention and all the focus, you become a taker, but it's very difficult to be a giver. And that brought me a few, for not saying many, problems as I was growing up, and then eventually I left my home because the Bible says that the one who gives is blessed, but not the one who takes. And I was a taker as opposed to a giver. So that you can imagine that I hit a lot of stone walls along the way of my personal growth journey. And so then it came to, as I grew up, then I had to join the army in Argentina. I had to do my military service, almost a year and a half. And then when I completed that, a family member gave me the opportunity to go to England, to the UK, to perfect the English language. I mean, I had studied English back at home for many years. I mean, since I was almost a toddler. I mean, I started learning English. I mean, my family had a vision, which at that moment I did not have. I mean, I just did not have a vision. I was definitely not a leader back in those days. Because one of the characteristics of great leadership is a leader has to have a vision. He has to know where he or she is going. Well, back in those days, I did not have either of these two qualities or characteristics. And so, but God knew that I had to be away from my home, from my family, because there were a lot of things that he had to work in my life. And just being on my own in England then was the perfect or the fertile ground for him to do the work that I needed, or the process or processes that I needed to go through. And so I learned one of the things that I learned is I learned how to communicate with people. I learned how to socialize with people. I was, as I said, being the only child, I did not have too many opportunities or very scattered opportunities to really connect with other people, to really get to know them and have them get to know me. But when I was alone back in England, then those opportunities began to appear. Yes, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I want to ask you a couple of questions because I raised a son as a single mom
Uh-huh.
and I only had one child. Um, what do you think caused or contributed to you being a taker versus a giver?
Um, as I said, one of the things is that um, everything. Well, when you have families with more than one child, I mean, you have at least two or more, three or four, then it's very natural that siblings, they need to share things, whether share clothes. I mean, sometimes, I mean, if the parents don't have the resources, then the clothing that the older had, and it doesn't fit anymore, then is being passed like a domino effect onto the second and third and fourth and so forth. So that there's a sharing. I mean, there is, whether you like it or not, you begin to develop that sense that, okay, I need to share. I need to share clothing. I need to share different things. And so it's not you. You begin to develop a mindset that things are not for you only or you alone. You need to share with others. And
Yes.
so in my case, I did not have that.
Well,
And so that's what I said. That contributed, I mean, to me, anything that I was given, okay, I tried to hoard it
hold on
as
to it.
as as,
It's
as,
mine.
yeah, with claws. I mean, no, I don't want that. And that, with years afterwards, that could become a seriously handicap. For people who have that mindset.
Yes. And I think about my son. He was he was just the opposite. He would give stuff away.
Yeah,
you know, and so is it possible? 'Cause and we're going to move on from this, but I'm appreciating the differences
yeah,
as it relates to being raised as a only child,
sure, yes.
and would you say that you were spoiled?
Um, Not all the time, but yes, sometimes yes. I mean, because you are in that environment, and it's such a small environment that whether you like it or not, I mean, you are spoiled. Yes, yes, definitely.
So
Yeah.
when you went to England, what switched your mindset to enable you to become more social and more engaging and more communicating?
Uh, well, the I think that at the beginning, I was forced to do that, because if I had not done it, then I would have become what you call it, like one of those beasts
Hermits?
that that's right, like a hermit. Exactly. I mean, not talking to anybody and so forth. So I was forced, I mean, to reach out to others, to begin reaching out from me onto others. Up until that moment, it was whatever it was outside. I wanted to magnetize it to come into me. But then at that moment, I began to release that magnet, and I began, instead of just reversing the direction, instead of things coming to me, I wanted to begin to reach out, I mean, to others. Whether it was, I mean, teachers in school, I mean, the family that I lived with, students at the college where I went, and so forth. So yeah, I mean, it's slowly I began to see that some changes were taking place at the inner core. You see,
Yes.
forced at the beginning, but then with time and practice, then they began to happen more naturally.
So you had to step out of your comfort zone
Oh, for sure.
to become the person, the magnet
Yeah.
that you are today.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I mean, it was not an easy process. You see, when God passes you through different filters, in a sense, I mean, it's not easy, and sometimes they're painful experiences,
Yeah.
but those painful experiences, in the end, work for your good. For your good, is because you needed that. And so yes, I'm happy that I had to go through those to become the person that I am today. I mean, otherwise I would not. It would not have been possible.
So the takeaway that I want my audience to get is don't begrudge the difficulties that
That's right.
you go through,
Yeah. No.
because it's through those difficulties that we become what God intends for us to become.
Yeah.
And if we wouldn't, go ahead.
Yes, and you know what happens? I mean, one of the takeaways also, and for those of you who may be watching or who will watch later, then get a notepad and a pen and write this down. What you resist persists.
Oh,
Okay.
let me put that down. Let me put that
what
up
what
here.
you resist persists. That means that if God is doing a work in you, and instead of you welcoming it and want it, no matter whether it's difficult or not, I mean, just allow that to happen, then you are going to eventually come out on the other side so much refined and better that
Yeah.
you will not realize the new person that you're becoming or that you have become. But if you resist the changes, if you resist them with every fiber of your being, then, first of all, the process is going to be much longer and harder.
Yes.
Okay, much
Y-
longer and harder.
and
Yeah,
let me say, because you're so, as you're talking, I'm just thinking about those times when I resisted what I knew God wanted, like coming back to Ohio. I
yeah,
didn't want to come back here. I love Georgia. But he said, go home. And so a part of that is being obedient to
uh-huh.
that still small voice
That's right.
as you are going through struggles, as you are evolving and transforming, listening to that still small voice, which I'm sure you had to do.
Yes. Oh, yes. Definitely. You know, it's like a gut feeling, but is as like you said, I mean, as you become more obedient and you want to do um, the best that you can, uh, you begin. There's also there's a process that goes hand in hand with that, you know, because um, everybody talks to me about growing, and one of my areas, I mean, I'm very passionate about, is personal growth, and how do we grow as human beings, because remember that there are two kinds of growth that takes place in the life of a human being. I mean, one is a biological growth. I mean, whether you like it or not, you are going to grow because you did not become an adult all of a sudden. I mean, there was a process. You were born, you're a baby, then you become a toddler, you begin to walk, and so forth. I mean, that's a development that happens with you. You can say, I don't want to grow. I want to stay a child. Well, you can shout. I mean, you can get mad about it, but you will continue to grow. That's something that is going to happen, whether you like it or not. But when it comes to personal growth, I mean, your growth as an individual, your maturity, your growth, your intellectual development, your emotional development, your physical development, your spiritual development, all of those areas of growing, they are optional. You have to want to grow in those areas. And the picture is that you see how many people we know, how many that you see them that maybe they are 40 years old, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. And you said, well, that person has grown. Yes, it has grown biologically. In age, it has grown. But personally, they stayed as a baby
And you
because
know,
they think as a baby. And you see, the word of God is very clear. I mean, when you're a baby, it's okay to think and to behave and to act like a baby. But when you are a grown up, those baby things,
they
they
go.
should no longer be part of your life.
Absolutely. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, there are so many adults that are stuck
yeah,
and are not growing. You're either green and growing or ripe and rotten. And
that's right.
so you're not standing still, even if you think, and you'll hear people say, well, I've been like this all my life. I can't change. Well, you are changing because you're either moving forward or you're moving back emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. So that personal growth is so important, but awareness precedes change, and we cannot change what we're not willing to acknowledge.
You know, when a person said, or when a person says, I've always been like this, I cannot change, Vera, that is a lot of BS. And when I say
Absolutely.
BS, I said belief system. That is a belief system that we have. And either we need to change our belief systems because as we are maturing through life, I mean, the belief systems that we had when we were a child are no longer serving us well when we are
Right.
an adult. You see,
Right.
it's just we need to change. Um, we need to have that willingness, that determination to become better every single day, and that's part of that personal growth
Yes.
that every individual should put a lot of attention to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so let's talk about how do we change the BS? How do we change the belief system? Can you give us a couple of um, nuggets?
Yeah, sure. I think that changing your belief system, um, it can be done by the things that we do on a regular basis. Um, either you become, you see, Abraham Maslow, the guy, he said, either we move forward into growth or we move backwards into safety. And you talked about the comfort zone. So many people are really rotting away in the and I was one of them. Who spent years, in the comfort zone, and nothing happens in the comfort zone. That nothing grows in the comfort zone. The comfort zone is like a stagnant body of water. When you are in a river, then you see a lot of greenery, a lot of great vegetation, a lot of marine life in a river, because a river is a body of flowing water. Flowing, it gets renewed every second. However, when you are in the presence of a stagnant body of water,
It
then
stinks.
it stinks. It really stinks. Nothing grows. You don't find any fish in there. You don't find any good vegetation there. You don't find anything, because nothing happens in that stagnation environment. And that's how we become if we don't do, or if we don't come out of that safety zone, of that comfort zone. And I think that one of the things for grow is, first of all, the books that you read. The books that you read. Read books that are going to feed your intellect. They're going to feed your heart, your soul. That's going to be a fertilizer for your life. Don't read. I'm not against people who read, let's say, fiction books. If you like reading the Harry Potter series of books, that's fine, no problems. But at the same time that you read fiction books, read. Put in between that reading nonfiction books. Read biographies of great
Yes.
leaders of the past.
Yes.
Read stories that happened, real stories of business people. And so those are going to read books on how to develop healthy relationships.
Yes.
Okay. Read books on how to develop a limitless mind, or a
Yes.
mind with no limitations, and so forth.
Yes.
So read books on personal growth, on personal development. Read books on leadership. Okay,
Yes.
those are great books. So books is something that I tell you, because I am surrounded with books. I love reading. I love books. That's one of my good pastimes. And the second thing is, I remember that Jim Rohn used to say, we are the average of the 3 or 4 or 5 people that we spend most of our time with. And the question is this for you, listener. Who are you spending time with? If you're spending time with vampires who drain your energy and who leave you empty, if you spend time with them, that's exactly what's going to happen to you. You are going to become an empty vessel. You won't be able to give anything to anyone. But
Yes.
But if you hang out, if you spend time with people who are better than you, who are at a higher level than you, what happens is
It pulls
they
you
are
up.
going to bring you up to their level.
Yes.
You
You
see,
know,
that's what happens.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And I used to tell my son all the time, association breeds assimilation. We become what we are around. Be
yeah,
careful who you hang with,
sure.
and that applies with adults as well. We often wonder why I can't pull myself up. I wonder why I can't um be in a more positive frame of mind. Well, if you're around a whole bunch of negative people most of the time,
Yeah,
it only takes one negative person can walk into a room of 10 positive people and
yeah.
bring them all down.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens. I mean, what happens with the analogy of the rotten apple? I mean, if you have one, not two or three or 10, only one
One
rotten
bad
apple
apple,
in a box, what happens?
it spoils the whole bunch.
Yes, the other apples in that box, they're going to become rotten. Okay, so there's a
Yeah.
contagion there. So that's what I'm saying. Um, and so just be careful who you spend time with, who you associate, who you collaborate with, because I mean, so many people, they said, oh my goodness, I have this idea, but I want to collaborate with someone, and it's like, I mean, they just find the first person that they see and they said, wow, I mean, not digging into to see if that could be potentially a good collaboration or a collaboration that would end in a complete failure.
Yeah. And
So, yeah,
speaking
huh?
of collaborations,
Sure.
you've got a book coming up, and so I'm going to pull this intro to this.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, I love
yeah.
that music. When
That
is that book coming out?
well, we don't have a date yet because we are working through edits, and that is going to come out in both in English and in Spanish. I mean,
Awesome.
to do that, yes. How strong is your leadership chain? I mean, um, with this book, I mean, we have even interviewed leaders or people in different sectors of businesses and industries, and ask them questions. I mean, about what do they think about this? I mean, the current state of leadership of leaders in their place of work, and of course, I mean, without giving any names or anything like that, but they were very open in sharing with us. I mean,
What
some of
kinds of
their
things?
yes, some
What
of their struggles with leaders, with leadership, and the things that they see um, in different industries. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited with the collaboration, and sure, I mean, that's a great project that God willing, I mean,
congratulations.
we're going to see it becoming. It's a reality, but it's taking a little bit of time. I mean,
I
to get it to the
understand.
public. Yeah.
I understand. Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank
Can you
you.
kind of share what kinds of challenges are leaders facing today that's different from maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago?
Well, one right off the top of my head, I mean, one of the things that I could see, I mean, um, everything was okay before the pandemic hit, and and so during the pandemic, and then after post-pandemic, things. I mean, the world definitely. I mean, the world changed. The world. I mean, it did. Like a 180-degree turn,
Yes.
and now, I mean, we are more yeah, we're coming back, I mean, to doing things in person, but we're moving. I mean, we have moved to a digital world. I mean, to a virtual world. I mean, to this kind of world of Zoom and StreamYard and all the other different platforms. And for leaders, I mean, especially teams, is there has been a challenge. I mean, to work virtually. I mean, the communication is more challenging. The interaction with people is so challenging, and leaders have to be much more cognizant and aware that those are things that could potentially affect the healthy functioning of teams. And so that is something. That is something. And yes, I mean, that's another book. That's an ebook that I wrote. I mean, with Anna Kutin, on creating terrific teams, because it is possible, very possible, to create thriving and dynamic teams.
So
But
what's one?
there has to be great leadership behind the creation of those teams, and a
So
leader um, uh, has to promote great one of the things about and the health of teams is great communication, great and open communication, communication between the members and the leader, and between the members themselves. That's a
yes,
big thing.
yes, absolutely. Great communications between the leaders and the team.
And the leader has to allow um, how shall I say it? Well, first of all, I mean, the leader has to allow for mistakes to happen and not be judgmental about those, but be supportive about those. The leader has to realize that the only way that human beings are going to grow, are going to get better, is by making mistakes.
Absolutely. And one of the things that a leader can do rather than criticizing a team member for having done something or having made a mistake, you
Yeah,
might want to ask them, walk me through your process. What made you decide to do this way? How
that's
could it have been better or different?
that's right.
Instead of criticizing, which a lot of leaders do, and the sad part is, oftentimes those criticisms occur in front of other team members.
Yes, it's a no, 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 no.
No, no.
If there's a difference. If you are going to elevate someone, okay, you can do it in front of everyone, definitely. I mean, because that elevates everyone.
Yes.
But if you are going to correct someone and not criticize them, but correct them and tell them about what they have done, and going through the process and trying to coach them in being better, then that you do it individually, separately, privately.
Absolutely.
You don't
I
do it in
agree.
front of everyone. No,
I
that's right.
agree. But so often people are so comfortable
Yeah,
with each other in the team
sure. Yeah.
that they may feel it's okay
Hmm.
to do that when in actuality the individual that's being chastised, for lack of a better word,
Yes.
they're leaving out feeling like crap, you
Sure.
know
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because and that does not make for a strong positive team.
Yeah. And it doesn't show um effective and efficient leadership on the
Not
part
at
of the
all.
leader. No.
Not at all. And I know leadership and coaching is your thing. I need to do a commercial break, and then we're going to come back and continue this conversation.
Sure.
Forgiveness is a powerful tool for personal growth, allowing us to let go of resentment and move forward. The key to inner peace and emotional well-being. Apologies and forgiveness go hand in hand, creating space for healing and reconciliation. Inner work and willingness are essential in the process of forgiveness, requiring us to confront our own emotions and vulnerabilities. Taking a broader perspective on actions helps us understand the complexities of human nature and the impact of forgiveness on relationships. The journey of self-discovery is intertwined with forgiveness, leading us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. Follow Divine Marketing Pro for more personal growth.
Divine Marketing by Ariel Chime. Authentic divine marketing. If you are a coach or an entrepreneur that wants to take your marketing to another level that's authentic and represents who you are, your purpose, and your passion, then you need to check out Ariel Chime, Authentic Divine Marketing at https://bit.ly/divine chime. She created this particular video specifically for me to look at forgiveness and to display how she can create to match what it is that you're trying to accomplish. All right. Um, that particular video commercial talked about forgiveness. As leaders, how does forgiveness play into being a leader, and how does it play into working with your team?
Um, I do believe that it plays a very important part because it's very difficult to work together with someone who you still have an issue with. And perhaps that person um, has done something wrong in the past. Perhaps that person, uh, in a personal way, I mean, has done or said something that made you uncomfortable or made you angry or made you upset. And that person is part of your team, perhaps is an integral part of your team. Well, until you don't express real forgiveness, and I'm saying real forgiveness. Why do I say real forgiveness? Because a lot of people, they're going to say, well, I will forgive you, but I will not forget. You see, two words would begin with the same letter, F. Forgive and forget. But they're very different. You see, if you forgive, but you don't forget, the question and the big question is, have you truly forgiven? You see, and that is the thing. I mean, if you really forgive someone, then you immediately should forget whatever happened. If that forgiveness is real, and you're going to see that if that forgiveness is real and you've forgotten everything that happened in the past and you just threw it away, that's going to lift a heavy load out of you and out of the other person. When you confront that person and you said, well, I want to tell you something, I mean, there's things that happened in the past that have and I still have them in my heart and so forth, but I want to forgive you. I forgive you truly, and I will forget everything that happens. We are starting a new chapter in our book together. And so when that happens, you can see how you can begin moving forward. I mean, things that perhaps in the past, up until that moment, they seemed that they got stuck and that they could not move anywhere. As soon as you forgive, it's like the key that releases the chains, and now everything is free to flow once again.
And in addition to forgiving the individual, also because the person that's forgiving someone else, they may have done something that they're not aware of that caused this rift as well. So I think it's just as important to not only tell a person that you forgive them and I will forget that this ever happened, but also if I have done something to you, then I also ask your forgiveness.
Sure. Yeah.
And we've got a comment in the chat. Let's see. Putina, hi. Thank you for being here. And she says, I don't think the act would be forgotten, but the pain will be released. The act is now a point of I love that. What do you
Yes.
think of that?
Oh, I think that it is. I mean, she hit the nail on
Yes.
the head. I mean, that's definitely. I don't think the act would be forgotten, but the pain will be released. Yes.
Yes.
And well, you see, in a sense, let me see, Faucina. Okay, is
Yes.
that? Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yeah, Putina, yes.
Faucina. You know. You said, I don't think the act would be forgotten. Well, really, it comes with our memories, I mean, we have very strong memories. I mean, some people, they already forgotten what they ate at lunchtime, I mean, and whether that's a good or a bad thing, I mean, I don't know. That's a personal choice. But no, it's if your memories are working correctly, then perhaps you will still remember. But the less that you think about it, the weaker that memory, that remembrance is going to be. And the less, because what happens is people who do not forgive, or people who have not forgiven something, they keep that act or whatever happened, they keep it in the forefront of their minds. Wow, Mary did that to me. I mean, she did that to me. And so that thought is always up here. But once you forgive and you begin to forget, you begin to take it from the forefront of your mind to begin to put it in the back memories and in the back memories, and that memory becomes weaker and weaker as opposed to stronger and stronger.
And in addition to that, when we hold on to unforgiveness, it
Mhm.
can make you physically ill.
Oh, for sure, for sure. It's like, I think that if you let unforgive, because unforgiven something is, some people, they get so worked up, and it's like depression. I mean, if you leave depression run wild, it can definitely kill you. I mean, you'll be dead soon. And so all these characteristics and qualities, we should take them seriously, not lightly, because if they get out of control, they definitely can not have an effect emotionally only, but physically as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And this applies in the workplace, it
Mhm.
applies in the home, it applies to our society.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so leaders set the tone.
Yes, let me. I'm reading now. Look at Virginia says, I agree to a degree, but if you've been violated, it is something that is not forgotten, but it's forgiven and is used to help others. Yes, um, I mean, I think that when she talks about when a person has been violated, I mean, whether, I mean, violated physically or I mean, emotionally or whatever. Yes, those, um, I mean, I'm not an expert in that kind of situations. Perhaps, I mean, if that is the case, I think that my advice would be to seek um, professional help. I mean, like a counselor or someone, I mean, who can guide you. But suffice it to say that the scars, definitely the
Uh,
scars that can be inflicted by situation of this nature, yes, they are extremely delicate and extremely difficult. And but I think that, and that's where I do believe that the spiritual aspect of
yes.
ourselves, so that's where divine intervention um, can make the great differentiator, because God says yes. I mean, when God forgives, and we are not, of course, I mean, we are not like God in any respect, but when God forgives, He forgets. I mean, and the Bible says, I mean, when God forgives and forgets, He remembers our sins no more. Absolutely no more. They're gone forever. No more. If you can cut the mind of God, you and do an autopsy, you will not see any of your sins in there if you are forgiven, because He threw them away. It's not. Now, of course, we don't have the mind of God, and we, but like I said, I mean, that's where that divine intervention can help us, because if you want to, if you are a child of God, I mean, that God has saved you, then you are going to try that when you forgive, then just do imitate God as much as you can in that respect. I mean, it takes a lot of prayer. It
A
takes a
lot of
lot of
prayer
a lot, but nothing
is
is
impossible.
impossible.
That's right.
Everything is possible. It may be challenging, it may be difficult, it may be heartbreaking, but it is possible.
It is possible. And with that, we're going to go to another commercial break. And then I'm going to share your certificates and kind of talk about what you're doing in that vein. So let me get this commercial. Okay. Let's move us over. And let me.
Mama Knows creates high quality products that are available to be used on multiple textures of hair. Her goal is to bridge the gap to stop people from having to use multiple products because of families with multiple hair types. Her products are currently being used on men, women, children of all ethnicities. Mama Knows products are available at www.mamaknowsproducts.com. That's www.mamaknowsproducts.com. You can also find her on Instagram at Mama Knows Products because, you know, Mama knows what you need.
Those products. Let me tell you, these products are awesome. They smell great. They work great. Shampoos, conditioners, gels, elixirs, things that can help promote healthy hair. You want to check out mamaknowsproducts.com. And why? Because Mama knows what you need. So check out Mama Knows Products. All right. All right.
Definitely, Mama knows.
Mama knows. And you know what? I've got a couple of pictures. This is a picture of you doing a presentation,
That's right.
and the quote that's on that presentation, an abundance thinking will allow us to create significant and great opportunities.
Yes.
That's, and so you want to kind of speak on that?
Well, that's a good thing because some people they have rather than abundance thinking, it has limited thinking, and when you limit your thinking, when you limit your creativity, then you're limiting the opportunities that may come your way. But when you have that abundance thinking, abundance mentality, that everything and anything is a possibility, is within that possibility environment, and you have to tune yourself to be there in order to bring them into reality. And so yes, it's you have to always go about your things in your career, in your personal life, in your private life. You have to go with that abundant mentality, with that thinking that I am able to do everything that I put my mind into doing. You see, nothing will limit me, and just persevere. Keep moving forward. I'm not guaranteeing that there will not be obstacles along the way, that there will not be problems, inconveniences, people that want to detract you from your dream, from your goal, from your destiny. But you have to maintain yourself steady, determined, and with that thinking that is forward, abundant, but forward thinking, not backward thinking, forward thinking, always looking ahead, looking at the opportunities that present yourself and the opportunities that we can create ourselves. We can be creators of our own opportunities as well.
Awesome. Awesome. And that's a great way to end the show. It's over. I can't believe it's over. But anyway, listening audience, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the Vera Thomas Show. And Alejandro, I really appreciate you being here. I think you gave a wealth of knowledge and information and wisdom. And I thank you so much for being my guest. And with that, we will, and if you would hold on, I would appreciate it. So don't go
Sure.
anywhere yet. Okay. I want to say to my listening audience, thank you very much for listening. And please catch the replay. And please be willing to share this with others. And with that, God bless. And you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. And I'll see you on Thursday with another guest. God bless. Bye bye.
The Vera